It's been an interesting year where we didn't get a chance to do the kind of things we normally do in regards to face-to-face interaction with a community that is so engaged in building a future. But here we are, and Expo is real. We're into day 2 on the floor. What do you think?
Well, it's as usual at Exponential. It's high energy. It's very dynamic, just like this community. And we might be a little bit diminished on our numbers this year. We don't have international visitors for the most part. Some people kind of started to waver a little bit toward the end because of the COVID spike. The people that are here are just thrilled to be back together. We knew that was going to be the case. And there's a lot of good business going on. There's a lot of partnerships, I think, being formed, although, not to talk about any inside tracks. But it's been a difficult time, but a time when the industry is in some ways advanced, as I said from the keynote stage, and even accelerated. Ironically, 2 things. For starters, the technology really played from strength during the pandemic. People really started to look at this and say, wow, if they can do that under waivers, think of what we could do with this technology at scale to bolster the supply chain, serve people in remote areas, and so forth and so on. So that's been really good for greater recognition of the benefits to society that we talk about all the time, but now people can see it in very visible ways. Second thing was we really were able to carry on with a lot of work with the regulators. And of course, at the beginning of the year, we saw the remote ID, flight over people, flight at night, those things finally get out into the public eye. And now we're in the process of implementing those things. And that's set the table for the Beyond Visual Line of Sight Aviation Rulemaking Committee, which I'm a member of. That's moving forward very rapidly. So no question about the fact that people being sequestered and being available to one another at the drop of a Zoom, it's allowed us to progress. This is just an intrepid community. We're just going to keep running between the tackles anyway.
On the regulatory side of things, are we on the right track right now?
Yes and no. There's no way to say that regulations are moving fast enough, and they're a very deliberative process. We're on the track. The question that I've been asking myself is, beyond visual line of sight is such a big elephant, and we're trying to eat it with spoons. Even if we move forward at breakneck speed, is that going to work? Mm-hmm. And I'll use remote ID as an example of this. We had that ARC, Aviation Rulemaking Committee, 4 years ago, and it took 4 years and some really heavy lifting by the likes of the Secretary of Transportation to get that done. And then when we got it done, we looked at it and we said, geez, that should have been done in 6 months. Mm-hmm. Right? That's perfect for Part 107 flying. There's still a whole bunch of things that are going to need to be done to enable the things that we will require to get to scale. So the answer is, yeah, we're on the track, but are we moving at the right pace? Have we got the right gear engaged? I'm not so sure.
Interesting. How did the association survive all this?
We did really, really well in the sense that my team pivoted with lightning speed when it became clear that, we had to move right on the calendar. That was hard enough, right? But while we were moving right, we were starting to look at the contingencies of, well, if this delays, then how are we going to do virtual? We started looking at platforms. I put it up yesterday. We did 11 events, an untold number of webinars, 27,000 participants over the course while we were getting ready to be face-to-face again here in Atlanta. And that's the dedication. Obviously we had to do some cutbacks. We had to kind of manage cash and things like that because, this event is very important to our financials. I have a fantastic board of directors. We were meeting once a month and, for a stretch there with great participation, tremendous support, and, here we are. This is why we work.
Where will Expo 22 be?
We're going to be in Orlando, Florida. And really excited about it. It's a slightly shorter runway because, we delayed our face-to-face this year. It's going to be a great show. Florida's got a whole bunch of stuff going on, not just in the air domain, a lot of great stuff going on in automated vehicles on the roads as well. But we expect a big crowd. We think we'll be back to full strength by then with the blessing. And the dynamism in the community continues to grow.
Are you ready to ace your FAA drone pilot knowledge test, get your remote pilot certificate, and start earning money? Well, flying a drone is a great tool that can open up new business opportunities for anyone. Realtor, insurance adjuster, videographer, or commercial weekend drone warrior, you need to fly legally. Whether you're pursuing your initial Part 107 remote pilot certificate or you need a renewal, King Schools has a course just for you. So start learning today at kingschools.com.